Yeah, hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Yes, what I wanted to say was about the Pokwasi interchange, the current one.
Okay.
Is it a good example for our explanation?
In fact, is a very good example. Every interchange has the same properties, but the Pokwasi one, I'm yet to appreciate it. I hear it's a multi-hierarchical something, like there are 3 layers or so, which if that's what it is, it will be the only one in the whole Ghana. And I think in the US, they have a lot of multi-hierarchical network. In other words, you have those going to Kumasi or one layer, those within Accra on another layer, then those within...
It's very accessible, yeah.
Those within Pokwasi itself having they will be down. So because I think it's really elevated when you look at the design. But I want you to get to the GIS of it. Is that okay? The GIS of it is like this. I want you to look at what's on the board now. It's a crossroad. When I say a crossroad, I'm talking about a simple junction. Are you okay? Intersection of two, like so. Normally you see like this, something on the ground. You see one road, another road, and then you have cars going this one, going back this way. These guys are continuing, then we are going down. I get that. So this is the basic junction, T junction. So you turn, you go based on how you feel. But ideally, then you want to have some runabouts in the middle, but you still have a conflict, even at a runabout. It's not that efficient. But this is the way we represent it in GIS. You just draw 2 lines like so, cross them up like a plus like that. That's it. But really, this is what is happening. You have all the lines actually meeting at a certain point in the middle. They are meeting that is a meeting point. That's why we call it a junction. A junction is a meeting point. So in plumbing, the same thing happens. You have 2 pipes, one coming from that way, one coming, and then they come and join up. So they also have a junction, something white that they put there. They call it a junction or something. Okay.
Yeah, they have so many junctions.
At that point, you have, maybe 3 things that are meeting. So the first one is this one. The second is that. So there are 3 segments, okay, of a network. 3 segments making up the network. A part of the network, and every part of the network is just a meeting, so many junctions, joining segments. That's the definition of a network. Is that okay? So when you look at a simple crossroads, then you can separate it like so. Okay, all right, and then at this point, when in this case, this is an ideal situation. All these are snapping onto one node as if it's just one node, but really there are 4 nodes that have snapped together. Okay, all right. So this one has a conflict, but when you have to draw up an interchange, okay, then you have a big task. Are you okay? The one going to say Medina to Accra, say this is Accra, and this is Medina. Then that will be a straight through. There's no, problem. The interchange at Accra Mall, now you realize that there's one that's going straight. You don't have to worry about those. Then there are those who are going to Winneba. They also turn off. Okay. And those from Winneba going to Accra, there's no interaction. And then we have those from, Tema. They also go straight, no interaction. Of course, they join these guys at a point. So here, there's a little bit of an interaction. So this is where, when you are joining, you have to be careful. Are you okay? All right. So there's a node here. There's no node here. I hope you understand. Because the nodes are where the two, arcs are meeting. The two lines or arcs are meeting. Here they are not meeting, because we all know that when you are driving from Medina to Accra, you don't meet any. There's no what do you call it?
It's a straight road.
It's a straight road.
Yeah.
In transportation, what do you resolve these problems? Are you okay? By creating an interchange. So you can draw up this and then tell where the interactions are. So there's a node here. Say what you said again. We didn't hear you. There's no node here. Tema. So this is Tema. It's coming from Tema.
Are you talking about conflict?
Very good. The word is conflict. The word I was looking for is conflict. So there's no conflict. Where the yellow circle is, there's no conflict. So we talk about topology, then we are talking about establishing these establishing rules that ensure that we can snap these nodes here. Are you okay? All right. So this is line arc node topology. This is arc node topology. So the arc is actually a line. It's not a straight line. So normally you don't say a line, you say arc. So this one is an arc. Okay.
But sometimes, excuse me, sorry.
Hold on a second. So the beginning and end of the arc, they are called nodes. So this is an arc, and then we have vertices. The vertices define the shape of the arc. And then the straight ones may not have, but roads always have curves. So you're going to be having vertices. So these are called vertices. Okay. Yeah, carry on with what you were saying.
I have to say about the nodes. Sometimes, considering the road like this, sometimes they create, when you are come to join the straight one, it's not actually the node, but they create extra access that you go a bit before you join the main carriage road.
Yes, that's true. But so what we do in GIS is that we represent I understand what you're saying. So this is the road going here. These are those coming from Winneba, and then they're allowed to go in their own lane for a while before they interact with these ones. Is that not so?
Thank you, sir.
Very good. So what we are doing in GIS is that we don't capture the whole road and we represent the road as lines. So in other words, we pick the center line. So we all know that the center lines then they have to meet at a point. So that is where they meet.
That is called a sneaked in road.
Yes, but to us, we're not interested in the sneak in. It doesn't come in because the center line of the road they go in the sneak in area or whatever you're calling it. So you carry on like this. They will carry on straight like this before they eventually become part of this. Okay, but as far as you are concerned, eventually they will join up. It will become this road is now in GIS. This has just one center line, so we need to just let this meet that somehow in the representation. So in GIS, for example, if I represent a tree, the canopy looks like this. But in GIS, we just put a dot, a point, to represent it as a point in the vector GIS, vector, when you use the vector concept. Okay, so topology really looks at lines and then polygons, basically. All right, so if we go back to our lecture notes, the PowerPoint presentation, we realize that we have three different components of topology. We have connectivity. Connectivity is what I'm talking about right now. Arc node topology. Then we have area definition, which we are going to talk about. But quickly, I think we already talked about the arc node topology. So the endpoints of arcs are called nodes. The points along an arc that define its shape are called vertices, and arcs join only at the nodes. So if one node is not joining the other, you should never use a node. That is why, going back in the drawing that I showed you, you realize that I told you guys that we cannot have a node for those coming from Tema. You can never have a node between the intersection of Medina to Accra and Tema to La Paz. Are you okay? Why? Because if that happens, then it defeats the purpose of the interchange, which means that there shouldn't be a conflict. The interchange should reduce conflict. Are we on the same page? Okay, I hope we are. All right. So that is the area definition 2 says that it's about polygons all the way. It says that an enclosed polygon has a measurable area. And list of arcs define boundaries and enclosed areas are maintained. In other words, it talks about the fact that a polygon is made up of lines. And then these lines or arcs, are you okay? And then these arcs have to necessarily enclose. And when they enclose, we can then measure the area of the particular polygon of interest. Is that okay? So in that case, then we have something like this. Okay, so these are the nodes. These are nodes because these are arcs. So arc 1, arc 2, arc 3, 4, arc 4. Are you okay? Right. So now we can measure this area. If they don't enclose, so enclosing arcs, yeah, can have a measurable area. Is that okay? All right. Let's see. I think the next thing we contiguity. The last concept in topology is contiguity. So contiguity is about direction. How do computers get to know the direction that something is traveling, whether it's traveling in this direction or in that direction? How does it know? It has to find a way to know. All right. So a GIS maintains a list of polygons on the left and the right side of the arc. And then by knowing which one is on the left and which one is on the right, it's able to tell that you are moving in one direction or the other. So that is how because it's not easy for you to tell a computer that this is the direction for this particular line. Let's look at one-way streets. Are you okay? How, if you actually ask Uber or use Google Maps to find direction, you realize that it knows the roads that are one way. You haven't asked yourself that question. How does it know? How does it know that this road, you can't go this way and come back this way? It's not trivial. If I ask you to sit down and design something that can help the computer to determine, you will use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and then you will still not be able to do it. Even the logic, this is the only logic that cannot make sense. That the GIS has a way of keeping left and right polygons, which tells it that you are going in one direction or the other. And that theory is called contiguity. All right, so left polygon is A, right polygon is B. It means I'm on arc 1. So arc 1 is this particular arc. Okay. Arc 1 is this one. Yeah. Okay. And it's going this way. The arrow is pointing this way. That means my left side is A and my right is B. So A is the outside area. The outside is A. Okay, if you take 8, arc 8, B is to left, F is to right, 8. So B, polygon B is to the left. and then F is to my right. So F is this area with the island. Are you okay? So this is called contiguity. Contiguity. Anyway, someone can come out with new research that says that there's a better way of representing direction. Also put that in mind. All right. But if there's any such thing, I think we'll get to know and talk about it. Any question on topology can come now. This is the time to answer your questions. Any question on topology and what it is can come now.
So in this case, can we fill the practical aspects?
I talked about the interchange. What do you think that is? Sorry for sounding like that. What do you think that is? Interchange is not a fictitious thing. After saying Kaswa and all that, you think it's theory.
No, practical. I mean the practical aspect. Sometimes you have so
I
many
also don't agree with
explanations.
you. What you say practical aspect? What I said is practical. Interchange is tematue is not so real. It's very real. It's a place. It's real. It's practical. Or are you talking about software?
No, it's not about the software. You have so many explanations and all that, but sometimes you need to see the feel it.
Hey, my friend, I think you are sleeping. Because I can't be here talking about something that's practical and you tell me that you want something practical. I think what you are saying is so not on point. When I was talking about Accra, look on the board right now. When I was talking about these things, what do you think that was? Just 2 minutes ago, and you are saying I want practical.
I was with you, all right.
So when I put this there, you should have asked a question that, don't you know Tema? Do you know Tema?
I was the one asking you a question.
No, do you know Tema? Do you know Medina? I'm asking you first. Maybe if you don't know that one, you can't relate. But even then, you can relate if you are in Nigeria.
I know Tema and I know Tema interchange.
So do you know the Accra More interchange?
I know that very well.
So if you were Nigerian and someone said you are moving from one place to the other, and you think that's not practical?
It sounds practical, but sometimes you need to see itself.
You want to see it? Okay, then maybe you have to come to Medina. I'm there. I'll take you there. I'll take you there. Can you come to Medina so that I show you?
Okay.
This one
Hello,
is IT. I'm teaching you. It's everything together. I don't know how to input it. It's a concept.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a GIS software that is being used to do all these designs?
Is there a GIS software that is being used to do this? It's Your question is not a good question. I think you should ask questions about what I've just taught you, the concept of topology. Your question is not a good one. I'm sorry. Do you think you understand vertices, arcs, and nodes and those things? This is what they are, nothing more than that. We will do a tutorial, but the tutorial cannot be done whilst I haven't taught you this aspect. So don't wait till the time for tutorial is not up. Don't ask a question about how do we do this in the software. Please, I think there should be a certain order of things should be done. There's a time when at the end of the lectures we'll do a practical. And please, because of the question you asked, when that time is up, I want to make sure that all of you are available for that tutorial. Because the question is coming at this time. And the good news is that we are going to do a practical as a class. So when we get there, please make sure you are there and you make your computer available. I know what students do. Normally when you say practical, and people say my computer is fault. Meanwhile, you are the one asking for, say, can we do it? Okay. So please, every single one of you, make sure you are getting yourself a laptop, a good one. Install Quantum GIS.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes, Grace.
Hello.
Yes,
sir.
Grace. Grace, carry on. I'm listening to you.
The place when you're saying practical, that means we have to come to school.
Well, you are doing online. The last
saying,
time
when you say practical, do we have to come to the school?
we did the last one on online. The last practical we did was done online. But the thing is, if it's all up to you, because if you want it, you want to do it online, make sure you have good internet. That's the first one. Make sure you have a good computer, not i3. You need i5, something like that. Install the software. Make sure you are using some Vodafone good. Make sure your data is there good, and make yourself ready for it. I mean, seriously, that's the only way online works. If you do it anyhow, online becomes so ineffective.
So are you a Vodafone Amazon?
I'm not, but it's I mean, it's helped me a lot. But Vodafone has been very good for me. So that is why I always talk about Vodafone.
It depends where you are staying.
No, I go to Kumasi, and if I in Kumasi, they were using
Hello,
MTN,
sir.
and they were complaining a lot.
Hello, sir.
I'm talking. Let me finish, please. They were using MTN,
Hello.
and it wasn't working for them. And I took my Vodafone Wi-Fi to the place, and honestly speaking, it solved the problem. It's okay. It really helped them, and they were wondering, wow, I was sharing my Wi-Fi for them. So
Yes, sir.
Vodafone has helped me, and because MTN wasn't good for me, honestly, it wasn't good for me. Maybe it depends on where you are. So yes, it does. In fact, the course we are doing, GIS is telling us that depending on where you are, things are different. That's what this course is really about. So yeah, if MTN is helpful, is good for you, get it. If
what you are saying is true. What you are saying is true. I've experienced part of Kumasi area. Vodafone is good.
Yeah, it depends on where you are.
It's true.
Yes. So even in Accra, it's not good everywhere. It depends on where you are. And it's because they have their mast located at, so many places that cannot be accessed. Are you okay? So who is getting the network? Maybe these guys are getting the network. And then there's a small gap here where you don't get a network. Are you okay? And then these guys get a network over here. So then they need to install a new mast somewhere here so that these guys can also now get a network. I get the whole thing. So this one is called, they apply viewshed analysis, and then they make use of what they call the Fresnel zone, which is a mathematical figure or something that defines a certain area in 3D. So yeah, if you're going to be doing practical online, make sure you are prepared for it, because you may go and get your exam question related to the practical. Okay, so why should you take chances? If you come here, I'll be here. In fact, AIT says we should come to the campus. So as you can see, I'm in the campus. So if you want to be here doing the practical, fair enough. If you don't want to come and you'll be home, it's be up to you. At the end of the day, remember there are consequences. That's what you should remember. We are all free to do what we want to do, but there's a price to pay.
Shall we do it online?
It's up to you. Please, you don't have to tell me. It's up to you. Decide for yourself. I'll do it online. At the end of the day, I score 45. It's up to me. You understand what I'm saying? I'll do it on campus. It's up to you. Is that okay?
Is there any software that we have to do?
Where were you when I was talking about the software to install?
Is that which we install Quantum GIS?
Charlie? I've said it like 40 times in this class. Please. Let's pay attention. Okay, so I think we have come to the end of this. We'll continue another time. The next lecture will be looking at overlays, and then we probably go on and talk about, I don't know which other concept, maybe data acquisition. And let me say something quickly about data acquisition. Data acquisition, you may not see, I think I'll have data acquisition in the material I'm giving you, but when you ask people about data acquisition, they go and Google data acquisition, then they get something else. Okay. and then they give you that